Yeah.
Da 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 da. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, da, 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 da. Okay, there we go. Welcome, everybody, to Gregan Teaches Rocket League. Today I am joined by Rated. Welcome, buddy.
Hello. Thank you
And
very much.
you wanted to know about threes positioning.
Yep. Mostly in threes, I find that I either go for the ball when I'm out of the position, or I go for it whenever another teammate's meant to go for it.
Uh-huh.
Or I'm just caught out of rotation a lot. So that's one of the things I want to try to get to today.
Okay, so we will do a fairly short teaching session because of the fact it's very practical this. You want to kind of learn it in game. And oh.
The redirect though.
Oh, there we go. So there's a couple of things. Obviously, it's more appropriate to learn this for randoms, because if you're playing with teammates, then communication is a big part of it. And we haven't really got the time to talk about how you can communicate well, because that's a half-hour session with the specific teammates. So we'll come back to that in the future if you ever find a team, because obviously right now you're looking for a team. Anyway. The first thing you mentioned, rotating back. Now, I have a general theory that works fairly well, but for the most part you've got to be careful to do it, because sometimes you have to just get back as quickly as possible. So if you've just hit the ball, I like to think that the non-dominant side is the place to go, because if you have someone covering back, so say they've got a player who's deep, and he sits right back here, and then you've just hit the ball up in the midfield, and then you end up somewhere up in front of the ball, which isn't useful for a pass. Obviously, if there's a pass on, then you might want to stay there, depending on whether your teammates have looked like they're going to pass beforehand. If not, just clear out via either their opposite corner boost if it's there to boost starve them, via the mid boost if it's there, or if none of those are there, then you can go back via your own boost, and then you're back in place. And because of the fact you've got a lot of speed, and because of the fact you're coming from the other side, generally, with the ball being on, say, in this example, it's on this side, it's generally going to be shot in at this kind of angle. Right? And having looped back round on this side, it means you've got a very convenient saving opportunity. And you have a lot better view of the whole situation. So in general, I try and recommend, if you find yourself not rotating very well, to try and rotate wide around the opposite side. And like I said, there's some situations where you just need to get back as soon as possible, but if you still have control, the best thing to do is rotate back around the other side. And do you know what? Sometimes you'll rotate out, and you'll boost starve them a bit maybe, or you'll get this mid boost here, and you'll notice that one of your teammates on the far side has an opportunity to shoot it, because you've got ball cam on this whole time, you know what's going on in the middle. And at this point, you might be able to rotate back in from here if the ball is then coming over this side. So you've got a lot better control over the situation.
Yeah. So I thought usually just with the rotation that, one guy would sort of sit here, one guy would be here, and then another guy would be here, and then you just rotate, just constantly, just go round and round and round.
Yeah.
I never got the fact of the guy that's actually rotating just to cut back in.
Yeah, but you've got to be super careful if you do cut back in, because it has to be when the ball is clearly coming over to you, because if you then cut back in, at any point, you have to know that you're going to be the next one to get it. So the main reason why you don't do that, so let's just give an example. Say you didn't do such a wide rotation, and you instead go back via here. There's actually an example of this in your replay analysis that you did. If you're rotating back round here towards net, you've got a lot of speed, and you suddenly turn on it and go towards it. Yes, you might be able to get there first, but because of your car language, so there's like in any sport, you have body language, and it tells your teammates what you're going to do.
I remember this.
But if your car is driving back towards the net like this, then you're visually telling your teammates that you are going back to net.
Yeah.
And if it's suddenly you turn direction and go towards it, you're out of their sight, and they've learnt your car language to be I'm returning, and so then they'll expect that they've got to go for it.
Yeah.
So if you ever do find yourself turning on the spot, it's normally not going to be a good idea unless you're coming back to net and turning like this, which a lot of people do. For the most part, if you are on the way back home, there's normally going to be someone behind you to deal with it, unless you know that 2 people went for it. And that's a slightly different situation, which I'll get onto in a bit. Does that all make sense so far?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. See, the thing I didn't understand about rotation was just mainly, I wouldn't trust my teammates, which is why you'd see me sort of cut in and take a shot from them, because I feel like, oh, my teammate's never going to get this. But primarily I'm just taking his shot away from him, and he's probably going to get it, because he's in a better position.
Yeah, that's definitely
So
something to think about.
hungry.
So that's a big part of threes. My mindset when I played solo standard for a long time is I'm not going to be the one who makes the plays. I'm going to be the one who makes sure we don't get scored on. And if you go in with that mindset, yes, it's a little bit boring at times because it means that you're covering back where your teammates are overcommitting a bit too much. But if you say go for it when it's not your chance, then that takes one of your players out of the game. Then you start having to do 2v3s and 1v3 situations, which are inherently tougher than if you did it as a team of 3. So one top tip I would say, and this obviously doesn't work in all situations because sometimes you will be close to your teammates, but get away from your teammates. As soon as you get near someone who you're not communicating with, you then have that miscommunication of I'm going to go for it or you're going to go for it. And in general, you're better off just driving away from them. So if you see them in front of you, back away and go back towards your own net. And if you're in front of them and you see them pushing up behind you, then go up towards the ball. Obviously, it's easier to avoid your teammates when you're behind them because of the fact you have a better view of everything. So you have to use the intelligence then to say, I'm going to be the one who stays back. Another thing you can do is if everyone's on the left, is kind of cover more on the right. Because you'll be surprised in a 5-minute game how many times the ball will bobble out from one side of the pitch, and if you are the one who covers the right side, say the ball's on the left with all the players, say the ball's over in this area down here, and both your teammates are on the left side, they've got someone in goal, someone pushing on the ball and someone behind them. If the ball bobbles out onto this far side, you are likely to be the next one to get it, and that's when you get your opportunity to take the ball on yourself rather than forcing it away from your teammates to yourself. And you'll almost create these situations where you can do your thing without even having to come into the play. It'll just come towards you.
All right.
Okay.
That's very understandable.
Yeah, and the advantage of being here as well, if it was on the other side still, is you can then easily loop back and cover net if you need to. And you're also less likely to get in the way of your teammates, less likely to boost starve them, less likely to bump them accidentally, less likely to get demoed. All of these things which just take error, like worrying things out of the game. Because you've got to remember, one goal scored against you is, if it's down to good play, fair enough. Teams do score good goals. But then that requires you as a team to have to create something tough. Whereas if the whole game you don't let a single goal in, all you got to do is get one of those lucky goals or get one of those balls popping out where you can pick it up and get a free shot. And so you can get the scrappy goals and win. But where if there's scrappy goals going both ways, then it kind of comes a little bit of luck as to which team wins.
Alright.
Okay.
Very good.
So that's the avoiding the teammates thing. Another one is left and right plays. So I've mentioned the fact that you want to be on the less dominant side. Look for the opposite side of the pitch where it's open. So, for example, if you're in goal and someone shoots from the left side, try and deflect it off into the other side, because it's more likely
to...
to... Yeah, so say they shoot from where the ball is over there, try and push it across your net into this area here. Obviously, sometimes it's not going to be possible, but you'll notice a lot of time with weaker players is they'll just hit the ball face on straight back to where it came from. And then it's in this area here, which requires another shot to come in.
Yeah.
And then you might get another fluky save, but it's getting harder and harder the more bad saves you get, and you're getting more and more boost starved, clamped down, and eventually they'll score. But if you just deflect it off to the side, it gives your teammates time to regroup, gives you time to get boost, and it means that they have to go find the ball where if you give it straight back, they get a free shot. But like I said, you can't do that all the time. It's just always think about where your opposition are and where you can push the ball to keep it away from them.
Alright.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The main point I want you to take away from it, especially playing with random people, is car language. If you can teach your teammates what you're planning to do with your car language, they'll be a lot more thankful because they'll start reading your plays. And you never know, they might start passing to you. If they notice that you're on the less dominant side, they might start hitting it over there. You've got to believe in your teammates sometimes because they will be good players. It's just they've all got the same mindset you're talking about of the I want to have the ball because I don't trust my teammates. So if you give them that indicator, perhaps even in chat say, hey, I'm going to be looking to push up on the right side. Yes, it might seem a little bit corny and they might be like, oh, why are you telling me what to do because you're just a scrub like me who's playing at this level or whatever. They might take that a little bit too badly. So just judge your teammates. If you get on well with them, if they say, oh, nice shot and stuff, just be like, oh, great pass, keep doing that. All those kind of things. And your teammates will inevitably start playing with you more and more. Okay, I think on that note we can go play some games.
Right. Let's go.
Let's go! Right, so we're into a game now. We've got Vexor in our team. We have no idea who this person is. We'll see how he does. And let's just not communicate and see how things go.
Oh, that's bad.
Don't worry about it. So I rotated back in via the back post, and that allowed me to see what you were doing and everything, and it allowed me to cover net, kind of obviously. Oh, what a fake! See, now Vexor probably shouldn't have come in there because he saw that you were overcommitted.
Yeah.
But he did do a very good save there. So you'll see on my screen there how I drove specifically around my teammates to get to the back post, and it made it very clear to him that I was clearing out and that he could then go forward for the ball. And you got to try and do that as much as possible because as soon as you just drop in front of them, then they're not sure whether they should go for it because they've got the best viewpoint or whether they should stick around. So I'm just covering left side and you're doing really well there to push up on the right side.
Oh.
And it makes it very obvious for me that I need to stay back and that you're looking for the pass. Well, I got him. See there how I drove back towards that boost? Very obviously, it made it very clear to you that I was going back and that you should go forward. And again, you going back like that made it very obvious to me what you were planning to do. So they're the kind of things you got to keep doing and try not to switch out of them. Nicely done. Did you feel like I was ever going to go for that?
No, because I saw you. I think you were driving back.
Yeah.
I couldn't really see it. It's nice.
Nice. See there, even though I had 100 boost, I still kept going back towards net because I saw that Vex was going to go for it. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's it.
Wow, how did that work? Oh, great pass. Look at that. That is talent there.
Oh, that's great.
I probably should have left that for you, but I could see that I could make the pass, and I knew that Vex was nowhere to be seen, so it kind of made sense. That's another thing as well. When playing threes, use I got it and take the shot all the time. I think I know that you do that anyway. Maybe? Yeah. Just do it every single time.
I did it earlier in the match. Yeah.
Right, so game 2, we're now in Wasteland. I won't have shown the end of the last game because it was a weird finish and there wasn't really anything useful in it. But we've now got Vexor on the other team. This is going to be interesting on Wasteland. Let's see how this works. So we've got Cudders on our team. Block. Okay, so I'm now front post. Pushing up to that boost, that means you've got to cover net. And I know because you're in net that you can then get that next shot. Wow, these guys are hitting it hard.
He took your shot there instantly.
Yeah. To be fair, he had a reasonable chance. See there how I pass back? Like, you can do that. That's something that people don't often do in threes. Is you can see where your teammates are if you're upfield. Why not push it back towards them? Sometimes they might not expect it, so you've got to make it a really good pass. But in general, pushing it back towards your teammates is not ever a bad thing if you control it well.
I try to do that whenever I play threes.
Yeah.
Just most of the time, I either hit it too hard, so I just gotta work on just trying to control it a lot more.
Try and use your wheels for that kind of thing. You're just going to get that touch.
Nice. Oh, close.
Oh, so close. Nice. So there I was ghosting, which is a technique everyone should use in all game modes, not just threes. Which is where you're driving back towards net, and it tells your teammate that they should go for it. And so it was really obvious for you to go for it because I never looked like I was ever going to get it. Good option to go across net there because they were all on the left side, and so it meant that it was going to be safe if you pushed it across.
Nice. Done. Oh, there you go. Very good goal.
So you see there that you won't see it, but they'll see it on my point of view. Is when you start in net, you can often push across to your corner to get boost when the play kind of dissolves a bit into the opposite direction.
Go on.
So I recommend that, staying back in net and then looking to push across. That was grim.
I put it straight back in the middle.
It wasn't a very nice bounce to read though. See, like there, you were behind Cutters. He couldn't see where you were coming from. Yes, he looked a bit hesitant towards it. He still had the best shot, and had you both gone for it and they defended it, then that meant there would have been no one back. So you've got to be super careful with those. If you are behind someone, not to go for them. Obviously at this stage, it's like, we just need to score. But in general, you're more likely to get a goal if you let your teammate go for the shot and they make the miss save than you are like that. I think that should...
Even though, like, we didn't win, I feel like that already helped so much. Just going towards the ball.
Okay. That's perfect. So you just, like, you have more awareness of going away from the ball or away from your teammates at points. Like, I don't think during those games we ever went for the same ball, really. There was a couple of times, maybe, but we kind of stayed away from each other the whole time, even with the random person that we had. And that's very important. And obviously, as you get better doing this, you'll know how to hit it better from those positions and utilise your teammates. So
the car language thing is also very important during that.
You can't switch from an extreme of I'm going back to I'm going forward.
Yeah, because that's what I would usually do.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, why does my teammate save that? And it's like, really, it's my fault because my teammate's going for the same ball I am because I put him in that position.
Okay. Well, I think we'll end it here then. On that note, and I'm just gonna get the almighty grog to finish this one off. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you learned anything, be sure to leave a comment and say how useful it was, if it was. If not, leave a comment on some feedback that you found will help you when you play threes and positioning and everything. And like I said in all the other episodes, there is a form down in the description. If you want to have a go at Gregan Teaches Rocket League, then I'll be going through that eventually. I'm just working my way through all of the lovely people who donated and have been a great help to my streaming community at the moment. So that's why Rated's on here to say thank you for that. And also he has some good learning points that we wanted to cover, and I hope it was helpful for both you and everyone watching at home.
All right.
Bye-bye!
Bye!